we have a massive skills gap in this country. And you take the massive skills gap and you combine it with a lack of a cogent immigration policy, of which you have highly skilled, highly educated scientists, engineers, technology professionals that were not getting visas. It's become much more difficult in technology and energy. And I don't know of any company that hasn't run into that problem. So creating an immigration policy, the path to citizenship for skilled workers and scientists and technology executives, that's part of the renaissance that needs to be accelerated. So within, to your comment around white collar workers, within that technology complex, energy complex, scientific and research professional complex, those are the people that need fast track immigration, so that way they can help address the brain drain in this country and the skills gap in that higher socioeconomic strata, white collar of the economy. And when you talk about blue collar, being raised in a family, my father worked in a steel mill in Pittsburgh. And when the steel mills went out of business, there was a massive skills gap because they were for decades working in a certain segment of industry. And when that industry, those jobs went away, Pittsburgh had to force themselves to reinvent the city. And literally, that's when the mayor, Caligiuri, came up with the Renaissance, as they called it in Pittsburgh, in which skills-based training, job creation, shifting the economy to healthcare, financial services, other types of industries to complement and help the economy, regional economy, recover. Pittsburgh is a great case study that took, admittedly, 20 plus, almost 30 years to reinvent itself and have that renaissance. So I look at that on a larger national scale. And if you look at the United States, this renaissance, it's already started with funding. We really need to accelerate the velocity in terms of immigration and, more importantly, with blue collar workers, help them gain training through vocational and technical. The stimulus should find its way into vocational and technical schools. You can have skills for electricians, plumbers, steam fitters, operating engineers, carpenters, bricklayers, all of what's referred to in the labor union building trades, so that you can have more highly skilled workers in the building trades, of which, even if you look at the demography in the building trades, they just had their annual labor union annual building trades conference in Washington, D.C. a few weeks ago. The average age is 54 years old. Mm-hmm. They don't have there's a scarcity, a skill gap there where nobody's going into the building trades, and these people are retiring. So their pensions are starting to see that drawdown, and no one's funding because there's no one, the next generation of plumbers, steam fitters, carpenters, bricklayers, they're not coming into the trades. They want to go to tech, or they want to be an influencer on Instagram. They don't want to go into the building trades, of which, admittedly, when you look at the average hourly wage for the building trades, it's north of $32 an hour. These are not low wage jobs. These are high wage jobs where someone can be financially independent, support a family. And so I think addressing the blue collar workers vis-a-vis immigration policy, but also, more importantly, vocational and technical school funding, that type of what I'd refer to as social infrastructure, education, schools, will help advance the economy. And if you ask any economist, any investor, education is the single best ROI you can invest in. And skills-based education, vocational and technical college, that training is critically important to the advancement and the renaissance in this country.